sometimes my menstrual can bring in that cloudy brain for me, and I'm like, okay, I got to breathe this out, or I got to do an interview on ABC News. Any of the stuff that has to do with nerves, it's like the deep breathe in through the nose, fill the belly up, the deep breath out with the mouth, and you kind of just let everything away. It's life changing. So just some of the things I do when I'm trying to stay calm and authentic, right? Because we always want to give people who we are, especially if we are coming to a space, at least for myself, right? Teaching and showing people how to be authentic and accept who you are, right? And take your mask off. And then I always say, when we connect with people at the heart space, we have a friend forever. But if we connect with them at the head space, when the memory goes, there you go, right? So we want to make things more relational and less transactional. And that's even in business. You know, and so it's important for us women to know that, because we are in a lot of male dominant fields. I know I am, as a psychology expert. This is a completely male dominant field, and it's a Caucasian male dominant field. And so there, you know, it's not a lot of work. Us women are coming into this field, but we have to learn the balance of making things relational, but not being offended when other people make it transactional. Yeah, let's see if Sylvia's almost ready. And it's 111, ladies. Does anyone know 111? That's like the strongest manifestation number you can ever get, is 111, 1111. I don't know if Mary's feeling that number, but she's laughing. But it is like, it's complete alignment. So when you see that number, whether you believe it or not, the worst that can happen is whatever you're thinking manifests. So you might as well think of the positive stuff you want. You might as well think of, create the momentum in your world that you want to go. Sylvia, are you ready? Okay, awesome. So I am gonna cut my music off. And my phone too, otherwise people will be bugging me during it. Awesome. Okay. All right, ladies. So is everyone ready to rock and roll? Yeah. Can everyone come off mute just really quick? So when I ask, is everyone ready to rock and roll, we can like bring in some energy into this thing. Off mute. Hold on. Cynthia, take everyone off of mute.
I can unmute.
There. Don, Michelle, Leslie, Lori.
Ready to rock and roll.
Wait.
Yeah.
Two more people off of mute. Leslie. Don.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Whoa, I did it the other way. Wait. There we go. I asked, sorry.
Everybody on mute. Unmute yourself, ladies.
Unmute yourself.
Yeah, ready.
Is everyone ready to rock and roll?
Yeah.
Yes.
All righty. Okay. Let's do it. Hopefully this will. Hey, what's going on? Can y'all see my screen? Why is it not doing it? Oh, I see what it's doing. 1 second. It's like,
Okay.
give it my screen share.
Yeah, you've got permission.
Try it again then. Yeah, it's asking me to grant access. Let's see.
That's weird.
Yeah, maybe it's on my end. It is.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, okay. Hold on. It's having a problem. Hold on. That's interesting. Hold on 1 second. So I'm gonna leave the meeting and come back on because you're recording. 1 second.
Okay. She'll be back in a second. Yeah, Chef Jeopardy. Okay, here she comes.
So
Okay.
let's see again. I'm back on. It should, oh, there we go. I wonder why it did that. That's weird. Okay. Doesn't matter. We're here now.
There we go.
There we go. Okay. Everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. All righty. So let me drag everyone up here. So obviously we know it's a mental detox, woman empowerment, right? Sylvia didn't give the introduction, but that's okay. I'll introduce myself. It's okay. Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. I'm a psychology expert and life coach. I'm president of the local NAACP down in San Pedro, Wilmington. I'm founder of the Dr. Bryant Institute and founder of Dr. Bryant Foundation. So what does that mean? Really quick, I have online courses that provide different tools and tips on how to live the best quality of life that you can, tips on depression and anxiety, how to alleviate that, psychoeducating on depression, anxiety, adjustment disorder, um, all of the psychology stuff and what that looks like. I do one-on-one sessions, and I do it via live coaching, and I also do different speaking events on the speaking circuit. I have my book, Mental Detox, that was written way in 2014, and it continues to be #1 on Google. It just got rated #1 in Success Magazine's top 10 authors, top 20 authors in the world, and I came in as #1. Pretty awesome, right? So that was really humbling, and it was amazing. So, anyways, enough about me. Today we are going to talk about what is woman empowerment, right? Where did it come from? How did it start? Where the heck did this Woman Empowerment, Women History Month start from? Why is it important? What is mental detox? How do you mental detox? The benefits of detoxing your mind, how to empower yourself, because everything starts with the self. And we'll get into that. How to support and empower other women, which obviously is directly a reflection of who you are. And then we're going to open up to questions and comments. And so, because I'm totally looking forward to answering all your questions and hearing your comments, make sure you write them down or you can enter them into the chat. And then at the end, just go for it and we'll have an open dialogue. In the middle of the presentation, um, I I can't really see your hands, but I may call out and say, hey, what do you ladies think about this? Or what is your opinion on this? Or, what ways can we add to this? So I am asking that you be as participatory as you can. That's what makes it an even better, interactive engagement of a presentation for us ladies. So with that being said, let's rock and roll. So where did the whole Women Empowerment Women Month, which happens to be March, begin, right? So begin as a local celebration. And I didn't even know this, by the way. My intern is so amazing. She sent this to me earlier in the month, and I'm like, I didn't even know this, right? We've been celebrating all the time. So it started as a local celebration in Santa Rosa, California, and has grown into an official acknowledgement of all of the women's contributions, otherwise known as Women's History Month. And since the 1980s, the annual month-long celebration, it highlights, it says American, but I like to say all women, right? So we don't build any wedges. We keep it non-discriminatory, who've made groundbreaking contributions as well as uplift other women to get through various issues that we obviously still have today. So that's where it started. This is why we celebrate. And the women who are in the forefront, helping us being able to be on this call, being able to work in the industries that we work in, they have worked extremely hard along with other civil rights organizations to have us the privilege and the honor of being able to rub shoulders with men, right? And being able to even compete with them in various ways, not just in the work field, but even in the sports field, in the sports arena. I mean, you name it, we're rocking and rolling. And us, even in the political world, we're coming up, we're doing our thing. And so it's something to celebrate and be really extremely proud of ourselves as women. And so women empowerment is what, right? It can be defined as promoting women's sense of self-worth, which everything starts with self anyways. We see in others who we are, not who they are, ladies. We see in others who we are, not who they are, which means that depending on our level of self-worth, depending on how we value ourselves, that is how we are going to see in others. And that is the experience we are going to create for ourselves and others. This is why it's important to understand that women empowerment, women with MEN, start with women, MAN, your self empowerment. It always comes back to the root being self, right? Your ability to determine your own choices, your power of choice, right? And your right to influence social change for what? Who first? Yourself and for others. And then obviously in the Western countries, women empowerment is associated with the phase what? Women's Right and Women's History Month. So why is it important? Women empowerment is very important because it's the process of us empowering each other. Empowerment obviously also happens in many ways, like accepting other women's point of views. Ladies, we all know there's not just one way to do it, obviously, because if there was only one way to do it, then it would just be men in the workforce everywhere we go, and we'd still be at home, be domesticated, and we allow them to do it their way. But fortunately, there are many amazing ways, many journeys to take to get to one destination. And we have to be open-minded to women's perspectives, and whether that be family, whether that be associates in the work field, on a personal level, the way that you build great relationships is having that openness to other people's perspective, right? Even if you may not take it on, at least respect it and hear it out. Also, making an effort to raise the status of other women and yourself through education, awareness, literacy, and training. And that goes to understanding that what's yours is yours, right? So I don't have to keep something of awareness or an opportunity away from Blanca, thinking that if she gets it, then guess what? She gets mine too. Not true, doesn't exist, not at all. I always tell my clients, and when I speak, I say everything that's yours, you're like a computer. Everything that's yours sits in the download space right here for you. This is how I'm being, right? Just the universe, God, whatever you believe in is, it sits in your download space. When you reach that place of readiness, because manifestation happens at the point of agreement. So when your readiness agrees with what is in your download space, guess what? The download button is hit and everything that's yours downloads. That means that as we empower other women, we're never losing anything within ourselves. If there's an opportunity that you know is yours, go for it and take it. If not, pass it on to another woman. Another thing that I love to enlighten people with is whatever, and I'll say it how I say it, whatever God moves through you, right? You get to keep, good or bad. So if he moves it through you, he gives it to you. Remember that. So as we're moving through ourselves, opportunities and enlightenment and literacy and all that woman empowerment to other women, guess what we get to keep? That empowerment, those blessings, that opportunity. And regardless of what happens, those are seeds that you're planting in that other woman that will harvest. And when she harvests, guess what? She has no control over you benefiting off of that harvest as well, because that's a seed that you planted. So always remember that. Now, how to mental detox, right? I'm glad you ladies asked. First one I always lead into is meditate. Everyone is not into meditation, not because they don't like it, because they usually say, how do you do it, right? I can't focus for 15, 20 minutes. How do I sit there and get my thoughts to stop? All that good stuff. Meditation is the most powerful practice when it comes to alleviating your resistance, decreasing, and this is all not just Dr. Bryant opinion. Studies have been done to show that meditation alleviates stress levels at a much faster pace than any other medication, any other form of practice that they found. It also decreases our anxiety. It aligns you and it aligns you and grounds you into self. So it does all these beautiful things, right? But obviously it's a practice. So it's something you have to do continuously for you to see the benefits of it, right? So meditate. If you don't know how to do it, meditation is a daily practice that happens for 15 to 20 minutes. You can go on YouTube and they have free meditational videos there. You can go on my drbryant.co website. I have a free 20-minute already timed meditation for you. You sit down, eyes closed and palms up. That's it. Set your timer on your phone for 20 minutes or press play on your timed meditation and just sit there and breathe and just breathe and allow that space to center you, provide you with clarity, and release all of your resistance, okay? Because resistance is usually what keeps us away from what we want. And what does resistance look like? Resistance isn't always the pushing away of something. Resistance is also you focusing on your lack of something. So I always say the universe responds to what we feel. It doesn't know good or bad. And so if we're putting into the universe I am lacking this job. I am lacking this money. I really need a partner. I really need X, Y, and Z. You are putting into the universe, guess what? That you don't have it. Your acknowledgement of not having something is putting what? Lack into the universe. So if the universe gives you what you feel, because it's your genie, it just mirrors to you who you are and what you're feeling. It doesn't know good or bad. It doesn't know how to say, hey, look, Sylvia, you're putting out lack into the universe. That's not good. So we won't give that to you. It says, oh, you're saying you don't have it? Then we will give you more of not having it so you can feel what you're feeling, because you're telling me as your genie, you want more of what you're feeling. Okay. So it breaks down your resistance. How to detox. Take inventory on what's working and what's not working for you. It is simple, right? But it's not easy. You have to really be clear on saying, okay, this is what's working. Keep that, run that play. This is what's not working, rid of it immediately. If it's in, what does working mean, right? Leads me down to the next bullet point. Measure your results. Working means this. I want this end result. I have asked, worked for, or prayed for this. And are my behaviors, my actions, my thoughts, are they breeding me that result? That is how you take inventory. That is how you measure. Okay. Studies have shown that when you measure your results and you keep the things that are productive and the things that are working, that your stress alleviates, your anxiety alleviates, you become empowered, and momentum sets in, and you tend to get more done at a faster pace. Studies show that. So that means what? Get out of your own way. Measure your results, ladies. Is it working for me? Heck yeah, it's working for me. Run that play every time as long as it's working. If it's not, don't panic. No big deal. Go back to the drawing board, figure out what's going on. And then that leads me to my last bullet point. Then be okay with seeking help. Listen, we do not have to keep our cape on. It is okay for us not to be okay. It is okay for us not to have all the answers. It is okay for us to need a day off, an hour off, a weekend off, 5 minutes off, a break before we have a breakdown. It is okay. And we have to learn to do it without feeling guilty of not being in the roles of the mama bear or the wife or the secretary or the assistant to the president, whatever your title may be. You have to be okay with seeking help and communicating that. That goes back to, if the things you're doing are not working, look, seek out professional help, whether it's a therapist, a life coach. And I'm going to say this, family and friends, they are amazing to debrief with. They are amazing to talk to, dialogue with, and for them to say it's going to be okay. But when I say seek help, I'm really referring to folks who are in positions to help you. This is so that you don't end up with more impairments, right, than you had prior to going to family and friends who are really there as a listening ear, but they don't have the skill or the training or the experience to say, listen, this is what needs to be done, or let me refer you to someone who can help you. So ladies, it's out of all of these points, the most important one is to be okay with seeking help. That's something that studies show that we do at a rate that's too low. And then we end up in breakdown, and we end up missing our breakthrough, and we end up having burnout. We want to prevent that, because a lot of times intervention is too late. So we want to be in the prevention state of mind as much as we can, right? So what is mental detox, right? It's detoxing your mind of all negative everything. But we say negative thinking and disempowering thoughts, dysfunctional thinking, toxic relationships, and it brings in awareness of what is toxic. What kind of thinking are you doing that is disempowering? And I use the garden metaphor in my book, Mental Detox. What is the garden metaphor, right? So your life is like a garden, okay? Anything you plant is going to grow. An unattended garden attracts rodents and weeds. So you really have no choice but to attend to that thing and plant what you want and nurture it. Listen to this though. The people who you allow in your garden, they are also nurturing what you have planted. So it's important for you to make sure you are the planter and the gardener of your garden. Okay. If you are planting weeds, then don't be upset when a month or two or next season, you have no harvest of apples and oranges. Okay. If you're planting roses and they have all these thorns, don't be upset when you're planting those type of roses and thorns are growing versus lilies and other things that are empowering for yourself. So what does the garden metaphor really mean? It means that you have control over your circumstance. That means that if there's something you plant in there that you don't like, it's not working for you, don't be afraid, ladies, to plow it up. Plow it up and plant in there what works for you. What key thing, what works for you? Because remember, we give unto others who we are. We are self-projecting. We produce who we are in every experience and every relationship we have. Okay, so I always say, you want to know what someone's going through? Just pay attention to how you experience them with you. Hurt people, and heal people. You want to know what someone's going through. Are they always disempowering you? This is not personal towards you. This is their stuff. And we're not saying it's okay, but imagine how it feels to be them and be disempowered all day, every day. If that's what they're projecting onto you, that has to be a really hurtful, dark space. And when I started to perceive it like that, that's when it allowed me to have compassion for people who appeared to be not nice or not good people. It just tells you what's in their garden. It tells you that the rodents and the weeds obviously have taken over, right? And maybe this person didn't have the courage or the confidence to ask for help. And so now they're infested, right? And here you come in their garden, and now they're projecting onto you their toxicity of their infection, right? Of their weeds and their rodents. And obviously, if add salt to the wound, that's not good. So I'm saying all that to say is that look at your life as a garden and take inventory and say, okay, is what I'm planting something that's benefiting me? And another importance of pruning and plowing out is this. It's not just important to plow out what's not working. It's important to plow out what's not working to make room for what is working to grow. If you have clutter in your garden with all this toxic dysfunction, right? And then you have these beautiful lilies who are trying to grow, but their growth is stunted by the toxicity that's around it, which happens to be your environment. And sometimes that toxicity around you could be friends, family, coworkers, whatever it is. And you're that lily trying to grow, and the toxicity around you that you have not plowed out, you haven't pruned, is intoxicating you. You got to let that go. You have to be okay with that. Okay. So why is it important for you to detox your garden, detox your mind, get in contact with the disempowering thoughts and toxic relationships and get rid of that stuff and plant some good stuff? Because you bring about what you think about. You create what you think about, whether you want it or not, whether you believe in it or not. It is the law of attraction. And the law of attraction states we attract who we are, ladies, despite of who we think we are. Let me say it one more time. We attract who we are, despite of who we think we are. Okay? So you want to know who you are? Look at the people and the experiences and the environment that you are attracting. That's who you are. We calibrate. We are a magnet to what we attract. Okay. Our job, we're not seeking and looking for anything. We are magnetizing, calibrating everything that comes into our world, into our experience. That is not opinion. That's just law. It's law, like the law of gravity, right? The law of gravity. It's going to work whether you believe in it or not. The law of attraction works whether we believe in it or not. And as I started to apply it, I've seen my world catapult. And I'm not just talking about in accolades and my bank account or what I drive and those things. I'm referring to my peace of mind, my joy and my happiness, my relationships flourishing, and my internal wealth becoming priceless. And I call that God's peace for me. And you can call it whatever you want to call it. But it's very important to take this inventory and detox those things out of your world so you can have the world that you want. So the benefits of mental detox, right? It gives you back your power because nothing is taken from you. It gives you back your power to create the world that you want. Listen, ladies, we are creators. We're not controllers. We're here to create what we want, not control. Control suppresses, and suppression is depression. Suppression is depression. We're here to create. As we may or may not know, energy cannot be destroyed, it can only be transformed. And so knowing that it can't be destroyed, right? We can only transform it, create it into what we want it to be. That goes back to everything that may look like bad is really working for your good. The universe is conspiring to do everything it can to work for you and give you what it is you're asking for. Ask and thou shalt receive, right? Mental detoxing your mind allows you to take inventory on what you're calibrating and what you're attracting. That right there is genius. Let me tell you why. Because if you can sit and say, okay, make a list. I'm calibrating all of these things on the left side of your paper, and on the right side, you're going to write down all the things that you are calibrating that you want to calibrate. And whatever's not on that right side of the list, you get rid of. Your whole life all of a sudden becomes harmonious. It all of a sudden gets into alignment just that quick. There's so much power in the process of letting go. And oftentimes letting go is an epitome and is an act of self-love. Okay. It enables you to get in contact with your authentic self, with who you really are. Because again, we are just little self-projectors. All we're doing is projecting onto our world and people who we are in here, not who we have made up to be out here. Okay. And you are going to experience who you are, not who you've built yourself up to be. You're not going to experience your image. That's why law of attraction says we attract who we are despite of who we think we are. Okay. So who you think you are is something that could be in your way. Because if you're looking at who you are attempting to project, then you have, it's called a disconnect between reality and perception. And that's where you don't want to be because you're totally out of alignment. All righty. It also provides mental clarity, which is something that we have to have just in general to have peace of mind. Peace of mind is just mental clarity, just being clear on who you are, what you want and where you're going and being okay with that. Okay. It gets you in alignment with your goals. Listen, if you are in direct alignment, meaning I call it your 3-part house has to be in alignment for you to obtain your goal. What is your 3-part house? How you think, how you feel, and how you behave. Your 3-part house, how you think, how you feel, and how you behave. When that is in alignment, your goals manifest faster. They manifest at the fastest pace possible. Whenever your goal or whatever you are trying to achieve, you prayed for, you asked for, whatever your practice is, or whatever, however you go about asking for what you want, whenever it is taking longer than you want, it's because you're not in alignment. Somewhere within your 3-part house is out of alignment. So remember, manifestation takes place at agreement. Manifestation takes place at agreement. The 3-part house has to be in alignment. Alignment is agreement for you to manifest. All righty. How to empower yourself, because it starts with self first, ladies. I always put emphasis on this because as women, we think we do self-care. We think we got all this self-love stuff going on. We think we love ourselves unconditionally, and we are constantly coming up short. And that's just the truth. And I would be doing you a disservice if I didn't say it. Out of my 13 years of experience, being a psychology expert, doing couples and family, therapy and all that stuff of me telling you that I don't see women who don't do the self-care, self-love stuff. And then when they do it, they feel guilty. They feel guilty. And so if you're feeling guilty while you're participating in self-care, it's not really self-care. It's more of a headache. It's not self-care. And so how to empower yourself? It goes, meditation is always top of my list. Again, I don't want to self-project on any of you ladies to meditate, but it is literally powerful and it's life-changing. Accept and surrender. What does that mean? That means accept where you are, where you want to go, and how long you got to get there. And then surrender to that entire process. Again, there's so much power in accepting and surrendering, because if you're not accepting and surrendering where you are, where you want to be, and how long you got to get there, you are just a ball of resistance. So what are you doing? You are putting into the universe, again, the resistance of you noticing, oh my God, I'm here. I want to be here. And goes your resistance, but I'm not there yet. That is the wrong mindset to have. That's the resistant mindset. The universe says, oh, you're not there yet. I'll give you more of not being there. So we'll just delay this thing 6 more months. We'll delay this thing 1 more year. Not what we want, universe. No, it's not what we're saying. That's not what you're saying, but that is what you're asking for through your alignment, through your feelings, through your vibration. So what does it look like? You know what? I'm here. I want to be here. And I'm looking forward to the journey of getting there. And along my journey, universe, God, God and universe is the same thing to me. So along my journey, God, can you make it fun, make it loving, make it light, and be gentle with me? One of my top affirmations, I'm telling you, ladies, literally to God is, God, all I ask is to be gentle with me. I don't care where you take me. I don't care how we got to get there, but please be gentle. Because we all know life has its way sometimes of not being so nice. And I just need it to, if it's going to be rough, cover me and be gentle. Okay. Positive affirmations and self-talk. Ladies, I would have to say every woman on this call has had that moment where you have 3 people that you can talk to in that moment, turn to in that moment, and who can understand you in that moment. That is me, myself, and I. We've all had that moment where it's like, you know what? This is just the moment where it's just me. There's just times as women, it's just going to be you. It's just going to be me. That's what it is. And you have to know how to talk, empowerment talk to yourself. You have to know how to set your momentum in the middle of the day, at night, or midday when you're having one of those funky days. And I'm going to say, all my days are not slam dunks every day, but I can say this, since I have applied this work about 10 plus years ago, about 99% of my days, I'm being honest, maybe 99.9 sometimes, have been harmonious, because I've learned, how I say in my book, Mental Detox, how to be a sturdy oak, meaning this is me, the sturdy oak, which is like a fountain, right? A fountain just keeps going. Fountain just keeps going, right? It doesn't worry about the chaos of the world and what's going on here. What that means is you want to be in the world, but not of the world. In the world, you're a sturdy oak. If you become of the world, guess what? You get tied up as the world does its thing, and now you're an emotional roller coaster. Now you're emotionally unstable. So all of these principles that I'm giving you are showing you how to be a sturdy oak. And that while the world is doing what it does, you do what you do. And you stay in God's peace, and you stay in your peace of mind, you stay in harmony, you stay in line, because life, I always tell my clients, life is here to do what life does. It's here to do this and this because that's what life was created to do. It has nothing, it's not pun intended to you. It's nothing personal to you. Stop taking it personal. When life goes up, ride that wave, ladies. When life goes down, stay your sturdy oak. You don't got to dip with it. This is what these principles teach you to do. And I'm telling you because I do it. And I promise you, it works. My clients are like, oh my God. And it works because I'm choosing to think, feel, and behave in a way that's harmonious. So remember, when life does what it is going to do to any and everyone, do not take it personal. Let it do what it does. Detach yourself from being codependent on needing life and people to be a certain way for you to feel a certain way. You will always, always be on a roller coaster if you're waiting for that. I always say, think of life as a party, right? If you want happiness, joy, peace at that party, you better bring it with you. Because in the event that joy, peace, or happiness doesn't come or decides not to show up, like some of the ladies who registered on our Zoom event, they didn't show up. But guess what? How we predicated this Zoom event on them showing up, we would have to shut this whole thing down, right? Because we have attached ourselves to what they do. We're predicated. Well, they're not here. We can't do it. That's how life is. Wake up in the morning and you put on your coat of joy. You put on your coat of peace. You put on your coat of, this is going to be an absolutely amazing day. I tell myself all day long, the universe is going to bring in things that are going to blow my mind. I cannot wait. I am so excited. I set my momentum. So positive affirmations, they work when you attach emotion to them. That means belief. Listen, the universe delivers at the extent of your belief. God blesses us at the extent of our belief. The belief has to be as small as a mustard seed from what it said, correct? So it's not like you're even asked to believe big. It's just saying, just believe in what you're asking for. Because if you doubt what you're asking for, based on universal law, if you doubt what you're asking for, you're at gridlock. Ladies, I'm doubting. I doubt that I'm gonna, I doubt that I'm gonna get the job, employment, the house that I want. But please bring me my house. And then when agreement, listen, manifestation happens at the point of agreement. Look at agreement trying to happen. How about this? I don't see it. I don't see it, but I believe it. This is open. No doubt. I believe it, but I don't see it. I don't need to see it to believe it. It's mine. I'm asking for the house that's mine. Look at the confidence in how I'm asking. Agreement's trying to happen. Look at agreement, ladies. Look at agreement. Watch it cleave. I want you to watch the cleaving. There's no collision. Look at this. And it's more profitable to lock hands than horns, ladies. So stop locking horns with your source and lock hands. That is our goal, to lock hands. So that goes back to alignment. Is what I'm asking for. Asking is open. Am I contradicting it by not believing it? Because it's going to be a collision. And the hardest part, the hardest part, even for myself still to this day, after all the work that I've been doing, that I do in this field, is the belief in something when I don't see it. Right? Faith come by heareth, not by sight anyways. But believing it when it's not there, I'm like, listen, I tell universe, to be honest, be transparent, ladies. I get mad at God and the universe sometimes, and I'm going, listen here. I work hard. I'm a community leader. I have a nonprofit. I give back. I'm a good person. I've asked for this. It's been 6 months. I'm tired of waiting. And then, the universe or God says back to me, well, check your distorted thinking. Check your disbelief, Dr. Bryant. Get out of your own way. Practice what you preach. And I say, you know what? You're right. And I meditate and I sit for my 30 minutes and I take my inventory, and I always find that sweet spot where I'm either disbelieving, I'm doubting, or I'm putting resistance and lack into the space of what I'm asking for. It's about self-awareness. Okay. Next is accountability partner. How to empower yourself. Get accountability partner. What is that? Me and my mom do it all the time. And my best friends too. So accountability partner is someone that you text every day. It could be once a day, 3 times a day. My mom happens to call and text me 4 or 5 times a day. That's a bit much. Don't do that. I'm her only daughter. Okay. But what are you texting your accountability partner? Good morning. I hope you have the most amazing day. Good morning. I tell my best friend, good morning. Be ready, girl. Be ready, because the windows of heaven have opened up and blessings on top of blessings are pouring in. And she always texts me back and she laughs and says, girl, you too. It's going to blow your mind. Look at the empowerment in that moment, just through a text message. It's like I get to empower her, and then she takes accountability and she responds to empowering me. Now, if you get someone who responds and says, why in the heck are you HELL, you texting? You go back to that garden metaphor that I told you and plow that person, plow them out there immediately. They got to go. They got to go. Delete the number. So get an accountability partner. Don't miss a day. You got to do this stuff often. Make this a lifestyle, not a daily routine. We're not talking about routines here. We're talking about lifestyles, ladies. This is a lifestyle that changes your life. It changes your relationships with the women in your world. I'm telling you, it's just life-changing. Surround yourself. Oh, this one is huge. This might be one of my favorites. Surround yourself with folks that celebrate you, not tolerate you. What does that mean? That means, oh my God, but make sure it's authentic. Oh my God, I love that new hair color on you. They're always looking for the good in you. Y'all are in competition on who can find the good in each other, who can compliment each other the most. What can I find about Sylvia today that I can kind of like just stroke her good ego? There's good ego and bad ego. I can stroke her good ego about, right? What can I say to her that I know will bring a smile to her face? Like, those are the things that you're looking for in people who do it to you. And listen, you got to be a participant in it, and you do it to them. Okay. It's not a one-way street. You don't want people who tolerate you. Why are you always saying that? How come it's always an issue with you? You're doing that again? I thought you said you didn't want your hair to do that. Why did you color it that color? I thought you wanted to lose weight. Why are you eating the churro? Mind your business. Just celebrate the churro. Eat one with me, right? So, but these are people who you want to celebrate. These things make a billion% difference. People who just are rooting for you, they're cheerleading for you, they got your back, and it's authentic. And let me tell you what I love most about that. As I am celebrating my people, my women, my family, my best friends, it empowers me. Like I accidentally become empowered through my celebration of them. And then now I'm inspired and I'm empowered and I'm geeked up to go make another phone call or to market my business again. What I'm just look, I've already got excited just thinking about it. That's literally how it is. It's very empowering, and it's energy that comes in, and it's powerful. So ladies, make sure you're around people who celebrate you, even if it's your husband. We know you can't just leave him overnight, unfortunately, just plain. But have that conversation with him and communicate if it's your husband or your partner and say, listen, I have new boundaries now. And I got to have people around me who celebrate me. And you just haven't been doing that over the past few years or 20 years or 2 months or whatever it is. And then you say, and this is what it looks like. You have to tell people what it is that celebrates you, because you don't want them to project onto you what celebration is for them. Let me give you a real example. For example, for me, what motivates me is me criticizing myself. What motivates me is telling myself that I need to do more. I'm not doing enough. But if I self-project that onto other people, I won't be celebrating them. So I have awareness of do that to me and don't do that to others. However, ladies, in the midst of all the work that I've done that has been extremely effective, that's one that I'm working on. I'm working on relearning, unlearning the behavior of having to kind of like beat myself up, right? For me to fluff up my feathers, because that's a learned behavior, and learn how to be empowered by celebrating my wins. For some reason, celebrating my wins would oftentimes make me feel like I'm okay with just being here, right? I'm not interested in ascending or growing anymore because I'm celebrating here. So I'm just telling you to make sure these folks are celebrating you and have the awareness of celebrating others, even if you don't all the way do it for yourself the way you want to. But most importantly, celebrate you and find ways to do it through self-care, through self-talk, through your audiobook, a glass of wine, happy hour with your girlfriends or by yourself, a walk on the beach, an evening run. I don't care what it looks like. Sitting for 30 minutes in silence, please do it. You have to do it. It's life-changing and it's necessary. Focus on what feels good. I always tell my clients, and when I speak, mostly my clients, we have one job, ladies, literally, listen, one job. What is that one job? It's to be happy. If anyone's taking notes, the only note you should have on there that says this, happy. Because when we are happy, we are open. I don't know if you can see my arms are open like this. We're open like this, right? Our receiving vessel is open. My arms are wide open. Open to receiving all that we're asking for. When we are not in a happy space and we are sad and we're beating ourselves up, we're being negative, we're open like this. Okay, like this. I want you to see how small this vessel is, this opening is for your blessings to get through. If you pray for a blessing this big, but you're only open like this, it's not getting through. I'm sorry. And it's no one's fault but yours. And I'm not beating you up. Well, maybe I am, but I just want the best for you. So, happy does this. It opens you up, it frees you, and you're in a space of just receiving. So whenever you feel like your receiving has stopped, check yourself and say, hey, you know what? Am I open right now? And I'm going to use a little bit of slang, or am I tripping right now? Am I in a negative space? What is my self-talk? What am I saying? And my favorite affirmation when I'm in that space is, God, open me up. Open me up. Keep me open. Listen, ladies, that goes back to don't be afraid to ask for help. Asking for help is as easy as opening your mouth. Open me up. Keep me open. I don't care if I feel scared. Open me up afraid. Open me up. Just keep me open. Those are my affirmations, and it works immediately, okay? Read, listen, and watch only information that makes you what? Feel good and be inspired. That's what it's about. Everything goes back to feel good. When you do your garden inventory, ladies, the number one question is, does it make me happy? Does it feel good? Not is it easy? Because that question is, it's easy, but is it best for me? It's easy, but does it feel good? It's easy, but is it healthy? No, we want what makes us happy. Happy is a thriving woman. And we are here to thrive. We're not here to just survive. Okay. So we got to get that understanding. And this last one is maybe one of the most important. Do not isolate in lieu of asking for help. Isolation breeds depression. Isolation breeds depression. Do absolutely not, I'm kung fuing you, because do not, absolutely not isolate in lieu of asking for help. Listen, email me. I'm being very honest. Email me, contact Dr. Bryant at gmail.com, or put it in the chat. Email me a question, or email me and just dump it all in my email before you isolate and then you suppress and then you depress. We do not want that. Okay. So do not isolate. Ask for help. Ask for help from anyone. Somebody can get you to somebody who can get you to the right somebody. And understand there's always somebody who is going through what you're going through, been through what you've been through, and who wants to help you, who's waiting to be compassionate, to have empathy, to walk sisterhood hands with you and have your back, ladies. Understand that. People are really waiting for you to say, I need help. I need help. And there's so much power in asking for help. Honestly, that's where the power is. The power is in that, surrendering and saying, this is what I need. Or my favorite one, sometimes my clients go, I need help. I say, with what? I don't know. And that's okay as well. You don't have to know what you need. That's a part of processing. That's a part of processing. How to empower other women. One more thing. I want also to offer that we process before we produce. When I was doing the days of dialogue and in speaking to all of the LAPD recruits before they graduated, some of the most amazing groups of people, man. What stuck out to them the most was process before you produce. Process before you produce. So I want to offer that to you, ladies. What does process mean? Process is my 3-part house in alignment. Before you produce, asking for what you need. Before you produce a behavior that's out of alignment with your intent. Process. And listen, take your time. Take as much time as you need to process. Just communicate it. Listen, I need time. I need 15 more minutes. I need 30 more minutes. I need an hour. I need a day. I need to process this so I can produce things that I'm proud of. So I can produce things that I was intentional about, right? Alrighty. So how to empower other women, right? Get familiar with current women issues. What's going on with women? Why? Because their issues are our issues. These are all of our issues, right? Read and share work by women authors. Got one right here, Mental Detox. Watch TV shows and films produced by women. Watch documentaries that explore women issues. Donate and join women causes. Attend and join virtual events like we're doing now that do what? Keyword, ladies, celebrate women. Celebrate women, okay? So these are ways that you can empower other women. But I do want to say this because this is most important. You can only empower other women at the extent that you have empowered yourself. You can only empower other women and people at the extent and level that you have empowered yourself. If you are an empty jar, an empty voltage, you're empty, you're hollow, you're empty. And women and people, even your family, kids, loved ones, go to plug into you, they don't get any type of empowerment because you're on E. So you got to make sure you fill up your voltage, you fill up your glass, you fill up whatever the heck you want to call it, okay? So that when folks plug into you, they get empowered. There's something there, right? And secondly, make sure that the folks plugging into you Don't have a one-way outage. They're not just sucking and draining. And so you're on E every time you leave because those folks are not celebrating you. Folks who plug into you need to be plugging in and energizing while they're pulling out what they need. It should be a recycling platform dynamic, okay? That's how you also take inventory of your garden. Is the person that comes into my garden, are they watering plants and taking what they need? Or are they just picking my fruits? And then when I come out to grab some of what I need, it's not there. And when I go to their garden, there's nothing there for me either. That's called self-love, ladies. Self-love is making sure that self is loving self first so that people can love us at the extent that we love ourselves. That is it, ladies. So I am open to your questions and your comments. If there are any other ways you want to add to how us women can empower other women, I want to hear it. If you want to add to, your routines to what you do to meditate or to self-care, I want to hear it. If you want to ask me what the heck I do for it, I am open and want to hear it. And let me stop sharing. I can get out of here. One second. Let me stop sharing so I can get back there. Oh, I'm back. Yay. Okay. Okay. Priscilla, go for it. Bottom left-hand side. You got it? Bottom left-hand side. Sylvia, can you unmute her?
I don't think I can unmute her. Let me see.
Sylvia, do you see at the bottom left-hand side?
Yeah. Priscilla.
Priscilla, do you see at the bottom left-hand side? That's interesting. I wonder why it won't do that.
I don't know. Yeah, I can only mute. I can't unmute.
Okay.
While she's figuring it out, does anybody else have a question or comment? It won't let her.
Just unmute yourself and go for it. Priscilla, put yours in the chat.
Yeah.
Then I'll say it. We'll just ask it out loud. Anyone else? Angie? You can't unmute. It says the host. Wait a minute.
That's so weird.
The host is not allowing people to unmute. Let's
Okay.
mute.
There we go.
Okay, now. Go for it, Priscilla.
There we go.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Priscilla's first. Yeah.
Now it's working. My question just is, do you ask a question like to the universe before you start meditating or set an intention, or what do you do?
When it comes to meditation, don't ask anything. Meditation is getting you closer to who you are, which is your heart space. And so there's a saying, you guys may know the author, very popular. It's saying, the saying is the heart somehow already knows what we want. And so we oftentimes are trying to tell the heart what it wants. Guess who's talking when we're telling the heart what it wants? The heart is a connecting space. The mind is an intellectual space. The heart is there to connect, feel good, be loved, give love, do all the stuff we really love, the stuff that we really want, it's here. The mind is here to protect. So when the heart says, I want to feel this way, stick with me, ladies. And last time the heart wanted that, it got disappointed. Guess what the mind says? Hell no. No, you don't. Hell no. And it gives you a whole list that will allow you, your mind, to rationalize why it's right. And then we end up in the same dysfunctional pattern that we've been in over and over again because we allowed this thing to tell our authentic self what it is we can or cannot have based on past experiences. But the past is done. It cannot repeat itself in the same way that it has. Stick with me. You can get a different experience that can trigger a similar emotion, but you'll never have two same experiences. That alone should be able to take our fear and say, shut up, because guess what? It can't happen to me twice. But the only thing that can happen is it can happen better or it can happen worse. But if I'm having and practicing awareness that my mind, right, is shutting my heart down, suppressing my heart, because depression comes from the heart space, it doesn't come from the mind space. It's suppressing my heart. I can tell my mind, no, because the mind is here to do one thing. What is that, ladies? It's here to think. It's here to think. It's here to think. So it is going to think the thoughts it has to think for it to rationalize the thoughts it's thinking. It's here to serve you. Stop allowing the mind to make you serve it. We are powerhouses and we are very strong-willed women. And the moment that we wake up and understand and we tell our mind, baby, you are here to serve me. And so you're going to think this and you're going to do this and you're going to do that. Mark my word, it will do exactly that, Priscilla. It will do exactly that at what you tell it every time, every time. And when you feel you becoming a prison to it, that's called awareness. Stop, hold on. Have a conversation with your mind, because as hard as it may be able to believe, your thoughts are not you. Because thoughts are there to think, I promise you. And so a lot of times you think things that you don't create, because the mind has a job. It's to think. It's like when you go to Rouse nowadays and the guy's like, put your mask on. But that's his job. It's not personal to you. It's just they told the man to tell you to put your mask on, right? Your mind is there to think. So when you go into meditation, you want the heart to awaken. You're meditating so the heart can wake up, and it can lead you right to where you really, really want to be. And lastly, ladies, to end with Priscilla's question or response is, listen, don't be afraid of allowing this whole, the heart wants what it wants, yes, but don't be afraid to let the heart have what it wants. At the end of the day, you will be okay. You will be okay. But what you will get an experience that's worthwhile, that's heartwarming, a priceless experience that you're not overthinking, that you can be fully in, even if it only lasted 6 months to 60 years. I'm saying you're in the heart space, you can't lose. And this is coming from a highly intellectual alpha woman. I had to learn that. And now that I learned that, my heart gets everything she wants, because I'm also strong enough to know if anything goes wrong, I'm good. I'm okay. I got myself.
Thank you.
Got it, Priscilla. Go ahead, Mona. And then Angie, if you want to go next.
Okay. Thank you for your comments, all your explanations of the workings of our mind and heart. I'm wondering if you could perhaps share an example that takes in your work with the NAACP in San Pedro and Wilmington, so that you apply what you've told us to some example or experience you've had in that arena, where you'll be dealing with men and women and taking up issues having to do with race and racism. So I would be interested in that.
Oh yeah, I love that question. So what I believe I hear you asking, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm also okay with that. I hear you saying, where have I applied my principles and my thought process to the civil rights industry? I'm gonna call it's not an industry, but civil rights world, right? As far as discrimination and racism and all of that.
Yes, but particularly, yeah, I know. I had stuff going on in the background, so I didn't want to, expose you all. But specifically in terms of San Pedro and Wilmington, so that we ground it in an area that many of us will be familiar with.
Awesome. I love that question. One way that I did it, and I want to say, I think this is the biggest way that I did it, was LAPD, or law enforcement in general, across the nation, has never in the history of I think we're 112 years old, ever protested or marched with any civil rights organization ever in history, ever. It's always them against us against them, right? And then there's a gap and disparities and all of that. And then they're the enemy and then we're not and all that. So for the first time in history, I had my San Pedro Women to NAACP do a unity march, protest with our Harbor Division LAPD. We had Chief Moore stand in the front line holding up the NAACP banner. We had Senator Bradford, we had Patrick O'Donnell, we had Nanette, we had Regina, the Captain Regina, and Joe Busciano. I hope I didn't miss anyone, but we had all these community leaders. And this is where the magic came from, Mona. I called LAPD to organize it, okay? As soon as I called, I already knew. I said, you know what? But I said, this is bold. Even my regional director of our NAACP regional said, Doc, you're tripping. Like every NAACP is gonna go against this. LAPD is not gonna lock hands with you. But guess what, Mona? God blesses the bold. And I'm strong in my belief, okay? And I'm big on harmony. I'm big on locking hands. My intent was to lock hands and bridge a gap. And your intent will always manifest. Remember that, ladies. Your intent will always manifest past whatever else you got going on. And when you believe it, you can achieve it. That's just real. Sounds cliche, but I'm telling you it happened. So I said it the same when I called. I said, hey, Frank, this is Dr. Bryant. You know, we're looking to do a unity march on this date. Dr. Bryant, oh my God, let me get Chief Regina on the line. She was waiting for you to call to see what you wanted to do. Do you see how I thought I was making the call? But let me tell you, ladies, this, what you're seeking is seeking you. So as I'm calibrating and becoming a magnet to them agreeing with me so we can manifest this thing, they were waiting, Mona, for me to make the call. So when I made the call, they had said yes. Before I got the chance, right hand to God, before I got the chance to call all of our elected officials for our district, my email flooded saying, Dr. Bryant, well, we weren't invited. Is it okay if we march with you? I'm going, I didn't have a chance to, I'm sorry, we wanted to, we just started this thing. And people, I mean, the universe makes room for the woman who knows where she's going. Understand that. Mona, it broke doors open. I mean, there was no hinges. It was like, bam. And all I did was show up. The LAPD provided waters for everybody, yellow roses for every person that marched. All of a sudden, the pastor, it was, when I tell you, perfect alignment. Perfect. And we just did it last year. And it was the biggest march and the only that we've had in San Pedro, Wilmington. The police station, they blocked off the entire street for us. They had their motorcycle people on the quads in front. It was beautiful. We had every race, every gender, kids with signs, and the police kneeled for the 9 minutes in some seconds for George Floyd. They kneeled with us. And then they said, say his name, George Floyd. They were saying that, Mona, and then they were saying, no justice, no peace. This was, I mean, it was, and then I called my regional and he said, I already knew you weren't going to listen to me because you never do. But I want to show you how these laws, these principles, they work, good or bad though. I just happy that I use them for good. And the things that you want you. They want, this is why I said, let the heart have what it wants, because what it wants it. And alignment will come. And it's the best, most empowering feeling you ever get. And so that's one huge way that we did it. And from there, we're now working with LAPD to reform their community policing. Look how much has came out of it. We're working with the National Victims of Crime, taking data from the marginalized communities to see how we can better assist them when crimes happen. When you have a Black woman who only 10.1% of them okay, Nola, we'll see you even, how should I say, call in their crimes. So they're not really getting the help. So we're doing studies, we're getting funding for it. So much came out of the moment. It was amazing. It really was.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for your question.
Okay, so I do have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm Angie Crum. So one of the hardest parts about being a woman, being female, having to take on so many responsibilities is actually for me is going.
Angie, let me help you. You can say being woman, being female, and being Black.
Being Black. And yeah.
These women are ready for that type of conversation. I can feel that energy. You can go there. You can say that.
Yeah, and so part of it is, and then having a lot of responsibility, right? for me, it's actually going to sleep at night because sometimes I'm like up and I'm like thinking about things throughout the daytime. Like, do you listen to music? I mean, sometimes you can listen to music and then fall asleep. Or like for me, I like to kind of listen to like some sort of water, like water puts me to sleep. But do you like do other things like maybe I heard someone say once that they write things down that they have to do the next day before they go to sleep? Or do you meditate? Like, how do you shut your mind off right before you go to sleep? Does that make sense?
So on the nights when I don't want calories, because of the nights I don't mind calories, it may be a glass of wine just to be transparent. But I meditate for sure. I love that that goal setting, writing that list. Reading knocks me out quick, even if it's an audiobook. And the genius thing about it is you can put on an audiobook that has positive affirmations. You can have it timed. Like I said, you can have it on YouTube has some that are timed for 30 minutes. So in 30 minutes, it goes off. You can set your own timer. And so those are ways that you're falling asleep, you listen to these positive affirmations, you listen to things celebrating you, and then all of a sudden you're knocked out. And studies have shown too how we fall asleep. I like to say in the vortex. Your vortex is just your happy space where everything you want is. Abraham Hicks talks about the vortex. He's amazing. So when you fall asleep in your vortex, happy, momentum, ready to go, right, wide open to all your blessings. Guess what? You wake up in your vortex. So although people talk about setting your momentum in the morning, I like to set mines at night. And when you set your momentum, ladies, it's not good enough to set it with your thoughts. You got to set your momentum with your feelings. You see, thoughts create your feelings, and your feelings create the vibration that the universe responds to. Universe doesn't respond to your thoughts unless your thoughts create an emotion. This is why the heart is so important, because the heart is where all the emotions come from. And that's where all the disheartening of your heart creates more of that, right? The empowerment of your heart creates more of that. So definitely put them affirmations on of an audiobook, and before you know it, you'll be knocked out, sleeping good too, like a baby. Any other questions or comments? Just unmute yourself and go for it. Joy,
My
oh, go ahead.
question. Oh, I was going to say my question kind of relates to what Angie said, piggybacks a little bit, how, she mentioned we have so many responsibilities and things like that. And I guess I'm overgeneralizing, but I think as women, sometimes we want to put fires out like simultaneously all day long. And I heard somewhere that, men are better at compartmentalizing. Again, I'm making generalizations, but do you think that's true? Do you think women can do better in that area, like compartmentalizing better?
Well, okay, so let me say this. Compartmentalizing is very unhealthy psychologically, which then affects your health. And that may be why men died 10 to 12 years earlier than we do. I'm just saying it becomes a health issue, right? So compartmentalizing means you're putting things in compartments and you're able to separate them all and not tie them in. And then in your delusional thinking, you feel like you can be something different with each one. Well, no, how you do one thing is usually how you do everything. And so I believe with women, I don't think we should do a better job at compartmentalizing. Maybe the word I would rather use is do a better job at balancing things out, balancing home and work, balancing self-care and workload, balancing mama bear and it's me time, right? And this is what I mean by balance. Be fully present. I don't have kids, but when I'm working, I'm working. I love what I'm doing. I'm fully present with you ladies. I'm pouring all of me into you. I am pouring all of me into you, and I'm present. If when I'm off and I may go for my evening run, I am fully in my run. I ain't thinking about the meeting. I ain't thinking about you ladies, even though I love you beautiful ladies, but I'm in my run, right? And then when I travel or I happen to I have my own really, really awesome self-care things I do. Sometimes I just go, I'm a membership, so I'll go take a private jet up for the day, get my nails to the day, like short trip to Vegas or to San Francisco, 45-minute hour flight, right? I'll go get my nails done, have some lunch, whether it's by myself or meet a friend up there, hop back on that private jet at 8, 9 o'clock at night. I'm a little buzz from the wine, I'm feeling good. And I was fully present in my self-care day. So by the time I come back, I'm ready to work. I believe Is it Elvia? Elvia? Elvia.
It's
Hey,
Elvia. Yeah.
Elvia, I believe Elvia, what we as women do wrong is men can go somewhere on the golf course and be fully detached from us and fully present golfing. And that's where we have a problem with them. We're like, hello, did you think about me? You didn't say you missed me. Was I anywhere with you on the golf course? And of course he's gonna say, yeah, because, but he was fully present. We can be with our girlfriends at lunch, thinking about what we got to feed the kids at 5 o'clock, thinking about what the husband needs when we get back, thinking about, oh, dang, that deadline, we got to send that email out. Men don't do that. Trust me, when they're having a beer, they're having a beer. When they're watching the game, they are yelling at the TV. So I'm hoping that answered your question. And I'm happy you asked that, because that's something that I had to work on. I still work on is I'm here, be fully present. Cheyenne, you're off. Don't you return an email. And I still find myself doing it. Of course, I'm like, oh, I got to get this one in, which is okay. But be fully present because you want to fully recharge. And if you're working, be at work because you're going to recharge there. And if you're with your girls or on your self-care day, whatever that looks like, Elvia, girl, fully get that massage. And meditation helps you shut down those thoughts that while you're getting the massage, you're also thinking of what you got to do on your drive home and who you're going to call in the car so you can get that out the way before you get home. And then that's why Angie can't sleep at night, because she's not fully present in one thing. She's blending it all. So what us women do is we just commingle everything and we try to get everything done. And then we beat ourselves up when we got to take our cape off. And we sleep with our cape like this. And then we wake up with our cape. No. I have accomplished a lot at a young age, but I'm taking my cape off and I'm going to have my time and I'm not going to feel guilty about it. And in Elvia, my discernment just saying this, I want to give you homework is to write a list. Your homework is to write a list of the things that, not that you like to do, that you love to do, that make you feel like that teenage girl that used to get so excited to get there or go there, or you couldn't wait to do it, whether it was skating or be on the phone with your girlfriend and talk about nothing. Who cares? I don't care what it was, okay? I want you to write that list. And then every day, you're going to choose something on that list to do. You can't go one day without doing something on that list. But you're going to be fully present because you deserve it and because you can. And that's what women empowerment is. I can do this and I'm gonna be fully present. And you're still a rock star when you're done indulging in that. You are. Trust me, you are. We all are. We just have to step into knowing that that's what we are. And that's just it.
So I got a follow-up question to that. Where does the guilt come from when you are doing that self-care? But then in the back of your mind, there's probably self-talk that there's like this guilt that's there.
Love that question. Society construct. Behavior. Oh, come on, Sylvia. Men, men work and provide. They deserve the day off. He's working and providing. He can go to the golf course all day long. We're not in those traditional times where we're in 2021 where everybody's working, everybody's providing, everybody's adding to the table more than just their presence. And we are all equally deserving of that. And women have been taught it is just how they have institutionalization in prisons. This is why you have Women's History Month. This is why you've had women's rights movement, okay? Because we have institutionalizational issues within us psychologically that say either we're not good enough, we do not deserve, and we haven't put in enough work to deserve that day off. We haven't done enough to deserve that hour, I call the hour of power of me and Lori just on the phone having a conversation, and we ain't talking about nothing. We're talking about, did you see this and the shoes that was in Macy's and I don't know, did you see that the Target has new pajamas? We're talking about nothing. And we're okay with that because men can have a beer and talk about stuff like that. That's not this is why when they go back, they're recharged. They're not thinking about the kids. Not all, I'm generalizing too, Elvia, but most. And we have to know that just because the kids are not in thought for that moment, doesn't mean we're not the powerhouse mother, but we are not still killing it at home. And that's the self-talk. I'm gonna have my wine because I killed it today. And when I get home with this little wine buzz, I'm gonna kill it when I get there. And then I always tell my parents, number one, And I look forward to doing this with my kids when I have some. I can't wait. Telling your kids at 8 o'clock, whatever time works for you, mom is off. Whatever you need before 8 p.m. or 9 p.m., whatever time, you can say 10, I don't care what time. You gotta let me know, baby. But at 9 o'clock, I'm off the clock, buddy. I'm off the clock. That is so healthy for your kids to understand boundaries, to understand. And then you tell them the reason why, because you're there to teach kids. Your parenting is just teaching. You're not controlling. The reason why mom is off at 9, because mom turns into just a woman who needs to recharge. And guess what? I want you to write a list of what you can do after mom's off at 9 o'clock so you can be off too. What do you need to do to recharge for school tomorrow? Start teaching them those principles early on, especially if you have young girls in the house. They're gonna need it. Definitely need it. Any other questions or comments? I keep seeing Joy's beautiful smile. I'm like, Joy, do you have a comment or a question? It's like her smile is so wonderfully contagious. I'm like, oh my God, I'm taking it with me all day, just so you know. So
Yes, the perfect name. Does anyone have more questions or comments? Everything you've shared today has been very enlightening, empowering, and causing aha moments for myself, and I'm sure for everyone else.
Thank you. Thank you, ladies. You got it. You're welcome, Blanca. You got it. So I'm just going to take one group. I don't know how to screenshot on this thing, so I'm just going to take one. Just, you guys know how to screenshot on the Mac?
Oh,
Anyone
not on the Mac.
control
I
something?
can do a
It's
screenshot.
Shift Command 4.
Shift, Command,
4.
forward.
4.
The number 4?
The number 4. Yeah, the number 4.
Okay, I'm going to smile. I'm going to do it. 1, 2, 3. I don't think I did it, did I? Oh, well, I'll do it with my phone too because I'm a dork. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, here we got it. If anyone else screenshots it, Mona or whoever, just
Well,
email
I can do it.
I'm going to put my email in the chat.
If you want me to try, we can do a 2, 3 here. Just a sec.
Okay. What else?
Okay, everyone.
Oh, wait,
1.
1 second.
All right.
Oh, sorry.
1, 2. Oops. 2, 3. There we go. Okay, so I'll have to send it to you.
Okay, ladies. So I put my email in the chat if you ladies have any questions or want further discussion on anything or just want to unload, do not isolate, email me. Yeah, nice to meet all of you women. If there's anything else that I can do, let me know.
Oh, I'll send it right off.
Thank you. Oh, Lori has a screenshot too. Perfect.
Okay.
There you go.
So my email is in there. Just email me the screenshot, whoever got it. I think I wrote it in right. Yeah.
And then Dr. Bryant, the gift, can I, I'll just connect with you.
Totally.
Okay.
Yep.
So everyone who's on the call.
I can send them off to Sylvia and then you can just get them out.
Perfect. Yes, I'll connect with you. So everyone that's on the call today will be receiving her book. It's a gift that she's giving to us. So you'll be receiving that. I'll get that in the mail to you, and just give me about a week or so. All right, guys. Thank you for coming.
Got it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You're awesome.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.